Hey there. Welcome to the Super Review Show's mixed bag coming to you live once again from many caves. As always, I am joined by my two incredible good friends, Bill and Justin. What's going on, guys?
What's going
What's
on,
going on?
people?
Glad to have you guys back as always. And just to remind everyone that we the best podcast.
We the
We the
best
Best
podcast.
Podcast.
Take that, DJ Khalid, whatever your name is. I don't
And
even.
we're also coming off something big, and I have to address something. Remember when we did that episode last week about what is it, movies that didn't age well?
Correct. Yep.
That is our most viewed mixed bag right now
Nice.
at 557 views.
Yes. Thank you to all of you who are watching our content. We
And
appreciate you.
I want to just tell y'all something. This is going to be a little teachable moment here. Some people weren't too big fans of us last week.
Not everyone is.
And you know what? Everyone's entitled to their opinion. But guess what? You know what that teaches you folks? Like, don't listen to what assholes say. Just keep moving, because guess who got the last laugh?
We did.
Let's see. 3 people who hated us versus 557 viewers. I'm no math genius, but I think 557 is bigger than 3. Am I right?
I think me thinks you're right, Bill. Me thinks you're right.
Am I right, Justin?
You're right.
All right. So, what is on our list for today?
Yes,
Well,
our
today
topic tonight is
we're talking about another controversial topic. Is it
yes, another
controversy?
controversial.
Is it controversy fun?
Yes, more controversial topics right here on the Super Review Show's
We are
mixed
going to be
bag.
talking about movies that were banned.
Yeah, big one.
Yeah, there were movies that were banned, folks,
Yes.
all around this great world of ours. But we're going to be limiting it.
Yeah, we're not going to go into like the full on in depth of like, oh, this country banned that. No, we're just sticking to mainly ones that were banned in the U.S. for the most part.
Well, the Western
Well,
world.
Western.
Western movies.
Well, I should say this. It's not that we're focusing so much on the Western world. It's that there are too many movies that get banned in China and
Will we be here forever?
the Arab
Yeah.
world that we would be here forever because you see it on the news. You know the reasons why they get banned, and frankly, we disagree with those reasons, but it's their laws, so we can't really
Well,
do
there's
anything about it.
one movie in that realm that I am going to talk about, if you don't mind.
Yeah, that's fine.
Just one. Okay. So we ready to get down to business?
Let's get down on it, shall we?
Get down on it. Get down on it.
Yep. What do you got, Bill?
Okay, so I might as well get that one movie out of the way now, shall I? The
Yep.
movie that was not banned in the Western world, but it was banned in another country. It was actually the South Park movie.
In Canada,
No, it was banned in Iraq.
damn it.
Oh boy.
I mean,
All
that's
right,
funny too.
What was that?
I said
Okay.
that's funny too.
Okay. Justin, you've seen South Park Bigger, Longer, and Uncut, have you?
Yes, and I know exactly why Iraq banned it.
And I just have to say, shut your face, Uncle. You're a uncle.
Although I would have found it hilarious if Canada banned it.
What's so hilarious about it? What's so hilarious about that?
If you don't know what's hilarious about that, then I don't know what to say about you, buddy.
I'm not your buddy, friend.
I'm not your friend, guy.
I'm not your guy, bud.
I'm not your bud, pal.
I'm not your pal, friend.
I'm not your friend, buddy.
Okay. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay. So the movie itself, actually first it didn't get banned in the US, but did you know they like had one less amount of F words to be considered NC-17?
Oh yeah, that was by design.
So
They did that to show how arbitrary the rating system was.
because I think the amount is what, 500 F words if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
and they did 499.
In the words of Doug Walker, the nostalgia critic, insert slow clap here. And because the film itself,
Oh, I mean, come on.
it was actually
Just think about it, though. 499 F words is fine for an R rating, but 500? Oh, no, 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 no. That's too far.
and I think
That's why they did it.
this film was kind of intended to be the series finale in a way.
I mean, it would have made an excellent series finale.
Because it wasn't known if the show was gonna get renewed for a third season or not. So Trey Parker and Matt Stone gave this film a giant middle finger to the MPAA.
Yep.
Basically, if we're gonna go out,
we're going out flipping you off.
And the film is very. I actually, before we talk about why it was banned, I actually kind of recommend this movie.
Oh, it's fantastic.
And you know what? It really, people would think, oh, so it's just a dumb show. But no, it really talks about like censorship and free speech and stuff we're kind of talking about right now.
Yeah.
How fitting. How fitting. Okay, so now I think everybody wants to know, why was this movie banned in Iraq? This movie.
Did we show them?
Show them what?
Not what. Who?
Because it's a depiction of a certain leader at the time known as Saddam Hussein. Saddam Hussein is featured in this movie in hell
as Satan's lover.
As Satan's lover. And as you could tell, Iraq was not thrilled about this. And that's putting it kindly, wouldn't you say?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Putting it kindly. They were not thrilled about this. Canada's fault. But
he got the Mel Brooks Adolf Hitler special.
So the film the movie was banned. The movie was banned in Iraq because of that reason because of their depiction of Saddam Hussein. And there was actually a rumor, I don't know how true it is, but let me see if I can find it up here. There was a rumor that when Saddam Hussein was captured in like 2003, 2004, it was rumored that he was actually forced to watch this movie as a part of his torture. Okay, I don't know how true that is, but yeah, so banning justified, Justin, or
I wouldn't say justified, but I find it hilarious.
it is kind of funny, isn't it? Because you know what, in our country, if they did a depiction of whoever, Obama, Biden, Trump, Bush, it wouldn't really be a big deal.
Yeah, because half of us would already agree.
But you know what? I think that's what makes Trey Parker and Matt Stone so smart, though. Because if anyone's ever watched South Park, they poke fun at everyone.
Yeah, they call it as they see it.
They poke
They
fun at
they they they
liberals. They
don't
poke fun at
pick
conservatives.
favorites.
What was that, Justin? I'm sorry.
They don't pick favorites.
Like, if you watch something like Family Guy, Seth MacFarlane's views.
Yes,
So Seth MacFarlane, the show, has a bit of
left lean.
a left-leaning bias. Well, Trey Parker and Matt Stone, they poke fun at everyone.
Yes.
There is no sacred cow.
Oh no.
Hey, wait a minute. 1999. That makes this movie 25 years old this year.
JT.
JT!
No, we're not doing movie commentary on it.
Oh come on.
People of the Super Review Show, do you want to see a commentary of South Park bigger, longer, and uncut?
We have like 30 movies to go through this year, guys, on movie commentaries.
Come on, we gotta give the
going to be
people.
called South Park Goes to Hell.
We
Fun fact.
gotta give the people what they want, JT. We gotta give the people what they want.
Do they want it though?
Let's put up a poll.
I'll put up a poll.
Okay. All right. So yeah, that's my first pick. Justin, over to you.
All right. So I was talking to the guys earlier about this. In the great country of Great Britain in 1984, a moral guardian known as Mary Whitehouse who had a foot in the conservative government at the time, made it so that the Video Recordings Act would be passed. The Video Recording Act was to get rid of the video nasties in Britain. What's a video nasty? Well, that's a movie that appeared on this list. It's a list of movies that the British Board of Film Classification refused to classify. The most famous of which being The Last House on the Left, the Wes Craven movie. Now, this movie is horrifying. From what I understand, my girlfriend has seen this movie, but from what I understand, it's just a brutal movie that I don't that it's rated. It was rated X when it first came out in the US, and a lot of these movies actually got banned based on just their covers. And some movies got clumped into the list, even though they weren't actually on the list. Even I'll give you a couple examples of that. We had The Best Little Whorehouse in Texas has gotten seized in a couple of raids, along with Child's Play 3.
Yes, because Some people blame that for the murder of a young boy.
Wow.
Oh, you didn't hear about this?
I did not.
If you could just give me a moment, Justin, so I can pull up the info. I'm gonna pull this up.
What I have here says it was subject to a censorious press campaign after it was falsely alleged to have influenced the murderers of James Bulger.
That's what I was talking about.
Okay.
It was two boys who were 10 years old who killed, I want to say James Bulger was like 3 or 4.
Oh my God.
Um, they splashed when they said they may have imitated it because they found him with blue paint splashed on him, just like Chucky, one of his victims, did.
Hmm.
But then there was this whole thing. The cops said that the the boy's father was not living with him while he rented the film. So I don't know.
But yeah, bottom line is if you had any of these video nasties in your store, you were subject
To
to
jail.
police raids. Like police would come and seize the movies.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Because they're that graphic. I've heard of this movie.
Here's the thing though. Some of them might not have even been that graphic. They were doing it based off the covers of these movies.
Like the promotional images and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Wow, that's frightening. How like just a picture of it could be like crazy.
And you know what? There are still a few movies that are still on the list. Most of these movies got resubmitted and classified, but there are 7 movies that are still on that list.
Let's hear them.
All right. They are The Beast in Heat, Blood
Never.
Rights, Fight for Your Life, Forest of Fear, Last Orgy of the Third Reich, Love Camp 7, and The Werewolf and the Yeti. Now, only Last Orgy of the Third Reich and Love Camp 7 actually got resubmitted and did not pass. Cannibal Holocaust, Cannibal Ferox, Cannibal Apocalypse, Cannibal Man, Expose, Faces of Death, and I Spit on Your Grave have only been released with cuts to scenes involving rape or unsimulated animal cruelty.
Okay.
So I want you guys to keep in mind movies like Saw and Hostel got classified. But
Wow.
some of these movies still can't get classified.
So they can't get classified.
Yeah, they can't get classified. So yeah, that's my little thing on video nasties.
Good to know.
Okay. J-Man, over to you.
The fearless leader has finally been able to speak. No, I'm just kidding. I don't have much to say on it because I haven't seen the movie, but I do know it was banned based on doing my research for tonight's show. But the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the 70s, the 70s were a crazy time to begin with. But the fact that you had a movie like this come out, was this Justin? You're gonna back me up on this one. Wasn't it because of The promotional images, or was it the content of the movie?
Um, let's see.
'Cause you're our film expert here tonight. Forgive me, everyone who listens to us and watches us. I'm not knowledgeable extensively on this topic, but I did pick a couple of movies tonight for you guys. Um,
And we're
to
here to
discuss as well.
discuss them. That's all that matters. No one can be Justin and be a film genius.
Yes,
For
Justin is our film
intense
genius.
violence.
Intense violence. Thank you. Okay. I mean, was it leather? It's Leatherface, right? This is Texas. That's this one, right? Leatherface is the villain for Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yes.
Gotcha. I mean, it looks. I mean, I have not seen the movie, but I know of it, kind of thing. And like the very fact that you could just search the Texas Chainsaw Massacre in 1974 on Google and safe search will be on tells you something right there too. Like, and plus, wasn't the door the house on the left the 70s as well?
Yes.
So that just gives you a hint of what was going on at like the time as well in filmmaking. Like you had the house all the way on the left, or whatever the title was. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, The Exorcist. I'm sure we'll get that in a little bit too.
The
It's
70s was a very interesting time for film because studios had a lot less
Money
power.
or power? Okay.
Actually, both.
Oh,
But
good to know.
they were spending less on individual projects.
Like there was no such thing as like $100 million movie at the time.
Not till Jaws.
But that's what I mean. Jaws was like the first one
Yeah.
where people are lining up around the block to go see a movie.
Buster.
The blockbuster, exactly. That's where the term came from. Was
Exactly.
for those who don't know, just really quick, the movie Jaws. The reason why it's called a blockbuster is because people were literally lining up around the block on streets to go see the movie. So,
And it was very rare at the time, as you've heard many times from me, class, for a movie of that magnitude to be released among such a wide span of theaters across the country. Usually, what happens is a movie like that is packaged into a road show.
right.
To have a wide release at the time was seen as a cheap ploy to get as much money as you can um, during the first week, and it was a sign that you didn't have much faith in your movie. Kind of like having a review embargo lift the day before the movie is released.
ah.
Okay, that makes sense.
If you want a modern comparison.
Good to know. But back to Texas Chainsaw Massacre for a second. Have you seen the original one?
Nah.
No.
Neither of you? Okay. I kind of want to see it, just like to say I've seen it, but I do know it's horrifying.
Yeah.
The whole like premise. So, I mean, I've seen the trailer for because if those of you don't know, I am a trailer nut. But I watched the trailer for it and I'm like, Jesus Christ, that's frightening. Putting people on hooks. It's a nightmare.
Yeah. So yeah, I've never seen this and I have no plans on seeing this.
Yeah, I still would like. I would. The only reason the only way I would watch this during the daytime.
And all the
I'm
lights
not.
better be on.
All lights are on. Popcorn's in my hand, and I'm watching this in the pure daylight. Then I won't be able to sleep the next night. But that's the point, though. So yeah, kind of remember. Anything else for Texas Chainsaw Massacre before we go over to Bill or Justin?
Nah, I'm good.
Justin, you got anything else for this?
Nope. I'm good.
All right, Bill.
Okay. It is time. I am going to talk about one of the most controversial movies ever made.
Forrest Gump. I'm just kidding.
And this is a movie that is still banned in many countries today.
Which one?
Justin, since you're our resident film nut here, are you familiar with a movie called Salò, 120 Days of Sodom?
I am not.
Well, guess what, my good man? Today you are going to hear about it.
Oh God.
Doesn't even look disturbing, does it? It does
Oh,
look
you know
disturbing,
what?
doesn't it?
I think I have heard of this at one point.
Have you ever watched it?
No.
Guess what? Don't.
Don't.
I watched parts of it. I never sat down and watched the whole thing. And guess what?
What?
I have no plans on doing it anytime soon.
What is it
Got it.
about?
What was that, Justin?
I said, got it.
Okay.
What is it about?
Okay. It takes place in 1940s Italy during the fascist, when a fascist government takes boys hostage. And they're a fascist government, and they're basically doing these awful, awful things to them. Like they are so awful. I can't explain it without getting without this video possibly getting flagged. So I'm not going to go into too much detail. But they torture these people. They torture them. And the libertines, who are the men in charge, they're a bunch of sadistic. They are a bunch of sadistic. Oh boy, sadistic psychopaths. And that's being too kind. Like, I'm gonna say this: these people make Hannibal Lecter look like a choir boy. Do you know what I just said, Justin?
Yeah.
These people make
That
Hannibal Lecter look like a choir boy.
that's crazy.
And I'm not going to tell you the ending, but I'm just going to say this. It's very, very disturbing. The ending is no, saying it's disturbing is an understatement. It's yeah, but we're here to talk about why this movie got banned. And the movie, it actually got rejected for screening by Italian censorship, but it received approval in December of 1975. And it was withdrawn 3 weeks after the film's Italian release. And then in 1976, and it was formally banned for its graphic portrayals of something I can't say online, torture and murder, mainly of people that are 18 or younger. And the film was not banned in the US, but it was given a limited release. And I think this was one of those film nasties. It was rejected by the Justin.
Let me see.
It was rejected by the British Board of Film Censors in 1976.
I'm looking. I'm looking.
And then it was screened at the old Compton Street Cinema in Soho in 1977. And in an uncut and without certification from the BBFC, Secretary James Furman, the premises were raided by the Metropolitan Police after a few days. and then a cut version was prepared again under Furman's supervision, but without formal certification, and it was subsequently screened on a cinema club conditions for some years. And then in 2000, in an uncut form, the film was finally passed for theatrical and video distribution in 2000.
Jesus.
And the movie was banned in Ontario, Canada. And
That's why I find it.
what was that?
That's why I couldn't find it.
Why? Because it was banned in Ontario, Canada.
No, not just that, because it's banned in more than one country.
Oh, so
That's
those
in a
are
different section.
so those
Yep,
are
there
films.
it is.
So those are films that are specifically banned from just one country.
Um, there's several lists, and right now I'm looking at one that is several countries.
And
And yep, I see it, Sallow or the 20 Days of Sodom.
what countries does it say it's banned in?
Australia, Finland, Iran, New Zealand, Sri Lanka. However, the ban was lifted in Australia, Finland, and New Zealand.
Yes, the film was banned in Australia in 1976 for reasons of indecency. And again, that's being way too kind. The film was then the film was then passed with an R rating, R18 plus, in July 1993.
Hmm.
And the same in New Zealand. New Zealand was then it was originally made in 1976 and then it was with special permission granted for the film to be screened uncut at a film festival. The ban was lifted with special permission in 1997, and the DVD, and it wasn't released into like home media until 2001.
Interesting.
Even even though it's not banned here in the US, it's still extremely hard to find copies of this movie. And the copies that are available, I looked
Mhm.
on Amazon today, not sponsored, by the way. We're not sponsored by them. You know how much a copy on Amazon is?
Oh, yes, 120.
You're in the ballpark, $114.
Wow.
Yeah, why are always like those type of movies? Why do they always like jack up the prices on them, Justin?
Scarcity.
Was it for like skate? Is it like because people for like film collectors or people who actually want to watch the film or
Yeah, supply and demand. If it's a film, it's some might consider it lost media unless they get a copy, it's I understand it's not a pleasant watch, but you know,
no, I've
um,
watched scenes of it, Justin, and I will never watch this movie in full because
I understand that.
the ending of this movie is insane. And that's being too kind. I
All
just
right, take a breath.
thinking about it gives me the whoa.
You know what? Maybe we should move on and talk about something a lot more lighthearted. BDSM.
Oh, that's so lighthearted.
50 Shades of Grey.
Oh, just type in them.
Thank you.
Careful with that search.
Oh, I know.
So what countries was this movie banned in?
Oh, get ready. Been banned in Kenya, Indonesia, the United Arab Emirates, Cambodia, Papua New Guinea, and India. For those countries, it's unspecified reasons. But in Malaysia, it is banned for its sadistic and unnatural content. Okay, I don't like the movie, but do y'all think they're going a little far on that?
I can agree with you on that.
I mean, look, BDSM's not everyone's stroke in life, but if that's your thing, what you do as consenting adults is your thing. So I wouldn't call this movie sadistic and unnatural. I would call it an abomination of cinema, but
Correct
not
me if I'm wrong.
sadistic and natural.
Justin, correct me if I'm wrong on this, but weren't the taglines that like for the reason why it was rated R, like the actual, when the MPA gives out ratings, they're like, oh well, they have to give a certain reason why the film is rated the way it is. Correct me if I'm wrong. They said they gave the same tags for this movie as they gave Deadpool. Did you know that?
Wait, what?
They gave Deadpool the same exact R rating reasoning because of at the same as 50 Shades of Grey. Did you know this? They said graphic nudity was one of the reasons why it was rated R.
Okay.
Right? I just find it funny how Deadpool had the same rating as this for those reasons as well. It's like sexual content and graphic nudity.
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
Deadpool
for
also
those of you
had
listening,
graphic
for those of you
violence.
listening,
I'm pretty sure Deadpool
what's
also
that?
had graphic violence, though.
No. Deadpool had strong violence. Yes, that was one of the reasons why it was rated R. But still, the very fact that Deadpool had the same like other taglines of strong sexual content and graphic nudity, that's what 50 Shades of Grey had. I mean, think about that for a second. That's oh my god. I'm sorry. I remember so clear as day when
Here's
that
the
came out.
thing, though: 50 Shades of Grey with blood. I'm scared to imagine what that would
Stop. Let's not go there. Let's not go there. Let's not go there. 50 Shades of Grey with blood. Yeah, that might be a little bit too much there, bud. Let's be real. But I mean, it was a global phenomenon. It was like 3 books and they made 3 movies out of it. So, you know,
be. Yeah, it was a horrible movie.
you saw it in
Oh,
theaters
here
at all or no?
I didn't need to. I saw the trailers.
I didn't need to. I saw the trailers. I like that.
I didn't need to. I saw the trailers.
Someone make that a t-shirt. I'm putting on that. Go on.
Here's a fun little fact, though. While the movies were banned in the United Arab Emirates, the books weren't.
Really? That's interesting.
And the books can be displayed prominently in bookstores, including in Abu Dhabi International Airport.
Really?
That's
So
fascinating.
if you're waiting for your Uber in Abu Dhabi, you can read all about the exploits of
Dr. Gray.
whatever his name is.
Charles Gray. I don't even know what his name is. What is his name again?
Um,
Who was in this again? It was Dakota Johnson and what's the guy's name?
um,
Did they switch
Jamie
actors
Dornan.
too?
Jamie Dornan.
Jamie Dornan, thank you. But they changed actors like twice. It's like this guy can't do it. That's kind of funny.
They didn't change actors.
Wait, they didn't?
No.
Oh, I didn't. I thought
Even though
they.
they probably should have, because apparently they had no chemistry.
Maybe they should have. 50 Shades of Craziness. That's all I have to say.
50 Shades of.
50 Shades of Tay. That's someone's username on Instagram.
Do you remember when that movie came out and it was like everywhere?
Yeah, the publicity was everywhere. The fact that Universal got the rights to it to begin with was like Jesus, nuts.
I just thought, okay, it's coming out. It's rated R. They they toned it down.
From the book,
From from what I understand about the books, you can't do that with an R rating. You have to go that extra mile.
with NC-17, yikes.
It's an erotic romance.
How crazy can you get with that? Let's be real.
You can get freaky with that.
Freaky. Oh boy, a lot of rubbing of body parts here on the Super Review Show's mixed bag tonight, guys.
Oh, we're
A
getting
lot of
really.
pillow talk.
It's ridiculous. All right, is it my turn or no?
Yeah, it's your turn.
Your
All
turn,
right.
bud.
Well, thankfully, our fearless co-host Allie has been messaging me like crazy, saying, "Bring up this one, bring up this one, bring up this one." This is a movie that I actually have seen years ago. Not when it first came out in theaters, 'cause I was a little too young for it. But The Da Vinci Code,
Hmm.
it was banned
Where?
because of religious sensitivity. I forget.
Ah,
I mean, if that makes sense, like because like religious sensitivity, it got banned
Vatican.
by like the certain So that's pretty much it. But it was interesting how like I remember when this movie came out too. It was a really good movie. I didn't realize it was like Tom Hanks was like, hey, hey, our movie's getting banned, guys.
Yeah, because of its.
Religious context in the movie.
I don't really I remember watching it once, but I barely remember it.
I saw it once too. That was 2006 was a long time ago, guys.
It really was.
It was like four no, how many years ago now? 15?
18.
18? 2006 was 18 years ago. Process
Yeah,
that for a
it
second.
was.
Oh God. Who feels old? Who feels old, guys? Let's be real.
I feel old.
I can't even. But the Da Vinci Code, it was based on a book. Angels and Demons was a part of it too. Um, I don't know. Because of religious sensitivity got banned. That's all she told me. But I wonder because it was the first time I saw it. I forgot about that. I got to bring it up. So I had to bring this up.
Yeah, I could see why.
Because of religious context. I mean, it's also like a crime thriller. Like the Vatican is after Tom Hanks or whatever. I
I
forget
don't know
why,
if it
but
was the first or the second one. I do remember there was this priest. He was like from Ireland or Northern Ireland or something.
yeah.
And I remember he was first at helping them, but he got into a fight with like one of the cardinals, and he was saying like it's like if it's all just science, then what is there for God? And then he lights himself on fire and dies.
Yeah, there's a lot of religious stuff about this series of books and stuff and then the movies. Um, yeah, it's a little much. Truthfully. Tom Hanks, you're the man. We love you.
Hey, he is Tom Hanks.
Anything else for the Da Vinci Code?
No, not really. You, Justin?
You remember
No.
seeing it at all?
I saw bits and pieces of it.
Okay. It's a good movie. It's always on TV, so.
Yeah, just give it a watch. Okay, since we're on the topic of religion, Justin, we're bringing religion into this.
Oh Lord!
Huh.
Wait,
And
I think I know which one you're about to
okay,
do.
what is it?
Is it the Last Temptation of Christ?
The Last Temptation of Christ.
Guess what?
What?
We
Did
swiped
we?
right.
We swiped right!
Good God. Here we go.
JT, we haven't swiped right in a while. I think it's best we see other people.
Yes. Sorry, bud.
But anyway, you want to talk about you both want to talk about this, Justin? We both talk about this one?
Kill two birds with
You
one
go
stone, guys.
first.
What
Kill
was
two
that,
birds.
Justin?
You go first because I found a pretty fun story about this.
So anyway, this movie was actually based on a book. I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name right, Maracus or
The Bible. Just kidding.
no, it was actually based off a book called by Nikos Kazantzakis. He's a Greek dude.
Yeah, some Greek guy.
And the book itself was blacklisted by the Vatican. So, yeah, when Scorsese was making this film, he pretty much knew he was playing a fire. So the film is about it's about Christ's, because there is a part in the book, I don't know if it's in the movie or not, but there's a part in the book when Jesus is on the cross dying and the devil disguised as a little girl says, "You don't have to die now. You can come down now. You don't have to die." But he resists and accepts his fate. And there's also a scene when he's on the cross, he's imagining, you know what, we're adults, are we? He's imagining having sex with Mary Magdalene when he's on the cross. So a lot of religious leaders were not too thrilled about that.
Can't imagine why.
Um, and also this film, not banned in the US, but this movie was very, a lot of people were not happy with this film. It Mother Angelica from EWTN called the movie blasphemous. And a lot of movies and a lot of films are still, censorship and bans. Mother Angelica, a Catholic nun and founder of EWTN, described The Last Temptation as the most blasphemous ridicule of the Eucharist that's ever been perpetrated in the world, and a Holocaust movie that has the power to destroy souls eternally. The movie was banned or censored for several years, such as in Greece, South Africa, Turkey, Mexico, and Chile,
Mm-hmm.
and Argentina,
And Colombia.
and Colombia,
And the Philippines.
and Singapore.
Yep.
And the movie and you want to know something, Marty Scorsese got death threats.
Mm.
Roger Ebert wrote a book said Scorsese by Ebert, and when he wrote the reaction to The Last Temptation of Christ, by the way, Ebert actually said he liked the movie.
Right.
Scorsese was targeted by threats of gerrymades of a bunch of TV evangelists. Just like what Jesus told you to do.
Mm.
Didn't these people actually, read the Bible? Jesus says, turn the other cheek, not send death threats.
Yep.
Yeah, maybe these assholes should actually read the Bible, not beat people over the head with it. Okay, but that's another rant for another day.
Hey, Bill, guess what? Amen.
But thank you. Scorsese had to hire bodyguards during public appearances for years. And you think that's as bad as it gets, do you? Guess what?
It
What?
gets worse.
It gets worse. Let's see if I can find it. On October 22nd, 1988, a small Catholic group, literally in France, an integralist Catholic group, that means a fundamentalist Catholic group, set fire to a movie theater in Saint Michael, France, because they were showing the movie. They burnt down a theater over this.
That's crazy.
And yet, nearly 20 years later, The Passion's okay. But this got.
Right.
It was The
And
Passion.
it's funny because listen to this. Some fundamental circles even refuse to see his movie Silence. You know, the movie about the Jesuits who went to Japan,
Really? That's interesting.
because it was directed by Scorsese, who did Last Temptations. They went to support Hacksaw Ridge instead, directed by Gibson, the director of The Passion.
Because, and like, listen, we're not here to give you a theological, we're not priests, we're not pastors, we're not theologians. But, because a lot of people find it because it kind of humanized Christ a little too much and not divine, and didn't portray him as divine, but portrayed him more as human or something like that. But the end of the day, and listen, we're not telling you all what to believe. What you believe is what you believe.
Yeah.
But I think, this movie made Christ look more human. And
isn't that what the Bible told us? Is
he's also fully human and fully divine.
fully human and fully well, you have to kind of understand the fully human part.
Well, I think The Passion is just 2 hours of a man getting beaten to a pulp, of Jesus getting beaten to a pulp. But yeah, but that's interesting about Silence, that they wouldn't go see that, because God, over almost like 30 years, and they're still a bad, and they're still bitter about that. What do you think about that, Justin? They're still bitter about that over 30 years later.
People can hold a grudge.
Don't they know how many movies he's made since then?
Mostly about crime.
Okay, good point. Point taken. So yeah, The Last Temptation of Christ, it's still banned in many countries today.
Yes, but listen to this. This is another story I wanted to tell you. So, a few cities actually did try to take legal action against the film. In 1988, Pensacola, Florida, actually passed a resolution to make it illegal to show it in the city.
Okay.
There was a theater that was going to show it anyway. The judge nullified the resolution hours before the first screening. A studio rep had to actually run to the county border with the film reels until he got word that the screening was going to happen.
And you know what? Good on that judge, because listen, whether you agree with this or not, this is free speech. Like, Justin, this is considered speech, is it not?
Of course. It is.
And that resolution, if anyone who has, listen, we're not lawyers. God, we're not a lot of things. We're not clergy. We're not lawyers. We're not a lot of things. We do a podcast from our basement, okay? Okay, two of us from the basement, Justin from his bedroom, but the thing is, like, any of these movies, like, listen, I think banning either of these movies is a grave violation of the First Amendment.
Yeah.
And I know other countries have their laws. We're not saying whether we agree with it or not, but we're speaking from an American perspective because we are American. But that is the Pensacola thing. That is a blatant violation of the First Amendment.
Yeah. Oh, here's a fun one too.
What?
So, you know how we said that Mexico banned the film, right?
Yes.
Well, it got unbanned in 2004.
Really?
Guess what it opened up against?
The Passion.
Yes.
I wonder what it was. I wonder
And
what.
it actually did good business because people confuse the two movies.
Well, whoever planned that reading that screen in that release
Yes,
date, all I can say is well done. Well played. When you say it's well played, Justin.
mm-hmm.
So people got this and the Passion confused.
Yeah.
Oh boy. So yeah, the Last Temptation of Christ. So Willem Dafoe, before he was the Green Goblin, he was Jesus.
Yep.
The more you know.
All right.
I mean, Mark Hamill, before he was the Joker, he was Luke Skywalker.
No, most people know that.
My turn.
It's your turn.
All right.
Put that one together.
I don't know if either of you knew about this, but I did my fair share of research and I have seen this movie too. But kind of sticking with Christ to an extent, on screen at least. Well, sort of. The Life of Brian.
Ah!
This movie was banned.
The Messiah.
The film's so funny, got banned in Norway.
Yep.
Looks like Norwegians don't have a sense of humor. What do you think, John? No offense to our Norwegian viewers.
Our Norwegian listeners, we love you.
We still love you. We love you guys.
We know that I check out my analytics every week for our show, and I know that our listeners in Europe, we love you.
You know what my favorite part is?
What's that?
Just a joke name. Just a joke name, like or Biggest Dickus.
What's wrong with Biggest Dickus? I have a very great friend named Biggest Dickus.
It's so funny. So from the crew, the cast and crew who brought you Monty Python and the Holy Grail, and would later bring
George
it.
Harrison.
What's that?
Funded by George Harrison.
Funded by George Harrison, and actually,
The most
ironically enough,
expensive movie ticket ever made.
yep. How much was tickets?
No, his movie ticket was $100,000
Oh
because
God.
he helped finance the movie because he wanted to see the movie.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. That's a wild fact with Justin. So
Woo!
yes. I don't know. I've seen the movie. I don't know. Do we know why it was banned though? Justin, Bill, anyone? You want to chime in?
Blasphemy.
That's it.
What other reason do you need with Christians? Sorry, Bill. No offense.
What are you apologizing for?
I said blasphemy. What other reason do you need with Christians?
Well, got banned in Norway, banned due to jokes deemed offensive to religious people
Okay.
in Norway. It got banned in South Africa.
Oh.
It was banned under the apartheid regime because of blasphemous content.
Okay.
And yeah, I think those are the only two countries it got banned in.
That's interesting.
And when we brought up the Passion, the funny story is they released it the same time the Passion came out, so they could milk it. So Monty Python
Ah,
could milk it.
that's funny.
That's funny.
And also a funny story is a very dear friend of ours. I'm not going to say who it is, but
Yep.
his father went to Catholic school, and they said anyone who's going to see this movie this weekend is going to get suspended.
Really?
And the people from the school literally waited outside the movie theater.
Yeah, literally just a life moment for anyone who's aware of this. If you tell someone to not do something, they're going to do it.
They're going to do it.
Like,
I think it was a priest and a nun literally waited outside the theater to see if they recognized any students. I'm like,
you guys ever heard about the story of Billy Joel's Only the Good Die Young? Like the Seton Hall Bandit, and they're like, "What do you not want us to hear?" And then it became a huge hit. And then
and
he's like, "Yeah, like, hey, Seton Hall, thanks so much. Please ban my next record."
because if you tell people to not do something, they'll do it.
They'll do it.
And
What do you not want us to watch? We're gonna watch it.
and listen to the priest and nun who were like literally waiting outside. Don't you have like homeless people to go help?
Exactly.
Don't you have to go do what Jesus said and feed the hungry?
Feed the homeless, feed the hungry. I don't know.
Like what it says in the Gospels, not sitting around a theater to see if you recognize students who are watching Monty Python. I'm sorry, people who do that, you have just way too much time on your hands.
Stick said it themselves. They have too much time on their hands, Bill.
But there's one thing one thing that's actually kind of funny about Life of Brian.
What's that?
The final song, you all know it. Always look on the bright side of life.
Oh my god.
Here's something kind of funny but something morbid. That is like the most popular song played at British funerals.
Is it really?
Yeah.
This has been
With Bill. With Bill.
Oh, random facts with Bill moment, everyone.
What do you think of that one, Justin? That it's one of the most popular songs to be played at British funerals.
I'm pretty sure you've told me that a few times.
And Green Day covered it live when they were over in England
Yes, they did.
on their a couple of their tours.
There's something you've forgotten.
Always look on the bright side of life.
Do 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 do.
But needless to say, Life of Brian got banned, guys.
And life is a piece when you look at it.
I really hope my uncle's watching this. I'm going to show him this one day because he says his name is Brian, so we're going to have to show him this.
So, anyway, yes. Oh my god! So this movie got banned, and Monty Python again. They released it the same time as the Passion, so they can milk it. I'm like, brilliant! That's brilliant.
Yeah, the humor of Monty Python is hard to replicate in general. Like, actually, it's really hard to. For those of you who've never seen any of the Monty Python movies or TV show, you're missing out. It's incredible. Truly incredible. So, but yeah, that's my pick was Life of Brian. Got banned for overutilizing Christian and Catholic everything. But that's what Monty Python does best.
Hey, if you know Monty Python,
They make so many jokes at the Catholic Church.
Oh, they make jokes about everything.
They're like the precursor to South Park in a sense.
They kind of were.
But British, not Canadian or American.
All
Very
right.
interesting. So, anyways,
I got,
Bill,
yeah, I got another one. Justin, I think this is something you had as well. You might have had
What?
Clockwork Orange.
I was going to bring this up at some point.
Yeah.
But you had it
Yeah.
too, JT?
We could start seeing each other again, Bill.
We all swiped right.
Ladies and gentlemen, there's a 3 swipe here.
Hey.
Yes, but go on. Why don't you shed some light and then we'll just chime in on the Clockwork Orange.
Okay.
Again, the 70s, but go on.
Justin, would you laugh at me if I told you I've been a little scared to watch this movie?
Yeah, it's a disturbing one.
I
Have
am
you
too. I want to see it, but it looks terrifying.
have you watched it, Justin?
So there is no blood or anything like that in the movie, but it is intense in its violence. It involves rape, um, beating of the weak and the vulnerable. It's some of the acts in this movie are heinous, but the acts themselves in a vacuum, like, yeah, they're bad.
It's
It's bad.
yeah,
I think at the time I couldn't really understand what exactly was going on, so I wasn't exactly as creeped out as I should have been. But if I were to watch that movie now, I don't think I would be able to sit through it.
I see it on Netflix sometimes over the years, and I think, is today the day I'm going to watch it? Is today the day I'm going to watch it? I'm like, yeah, no, I don't feel like it.
Yeah.
This is a movie that I don't want to. Let's just say this movie will never let you listen to the song "Singing in the Rain" ever again the same way. But the U.S., it was actually given an X rating in its original release. And Kubrick replaced 30 seconds 30 seconds of sexually explicit footage from 2 scenes so it could obtain an R rating.
Jesus.
And the National Catholic Office of Motion Pictures rated it C for condemned, a rating which recommended against Catholics seeing the film, and the office abolished the condemned rating in 1982. Subsequently, films deemed to have unacceptable levels of sex and violence by the Conference of Bishops and rated it O for morally offensive. And then we go to Britain.
Oh, yes. Britain, where thanks to the crimes, the copycat crimes and rapes that were happening in the news, Kubrick voluntarily withdrew the film from distribution.
And Mrs. Kubrick, Christine Kubrick, Stanley's wife, said that the family received threats and had protesters outside their home.
Jesus.
But you know what? I want to ask you all an interesting question because we're all smart folks here. And do you think when copycat crimes of movies happen, do you think the directors are to blame or the distributors of this movie or
Justin?
Um, so when you're putting out a piece of art like this, I do think that this is what people were trying to avoid when they were creating the Hays codes. They were trying to create to prevent people repeating what they see in movies and TV, thinking it's acceptable, and this happening. But at the same time, I do think that people need to be responsible for their own actions.
Oh, 100% agree.
So it's really tricky. Um, and I'd be curious to hear why Kubrick felt the need to make this film. Like, what drove him to it, where he felt like, I need to tell the story.
No, it's not based on a book, is it?
It is.
It is.
Oh, okay.
Well, the thing is with this movie is, I agree with everything Justin said. People because when we were young, Justin and I, JT, were 4 years older. So, but when there was like Columbine happened and people were going after oh, it was heavy metal music, oh, it was violent video games.
Mortal Kombat.
Like when a lot of when these things happen, they blame heavy metal music, they blame violent video games, they blame violent television shows, violent movies. And listen, and I think a part of those, I think there's a mental health factor in all of that. I think some people could watch these type of movies and not have those thoughts and not lose it. But there are people out there who can lose it over something like the barista at your local coffee shop getting their order wrong, or the receptionist at the doctor's office mispronouncing your name. Like stuff like that can push them over the edge too. So do I think people are responsible for their own actions? I don't think people should be blaming works of art when these things happen. I think that's the person themselves, not the movie itself. And I can understand why Stanley Kubrick decided to withdraw the film from British distribution. Maybe JT, what do you think of all this? I'm sorry, we've been leaving you out of the conversation. What do you think of this? Do you think when things like this happen, do you think movies are partially responsible or no? You're on mute.
Sorry, it's hard to say. It's very difficult to say. Sorry, what was the question one more time? I was just doing some technical stuff for our stream.
Because there were copycat crimes when this movie was released.
Okay.
Um, there were men who were doing some unconsensual actions to a woman, and they were singing in the R word instead of singing in the rain,
Oh, okay.
like in the movie. And it got to the point where Stanley Kubrick took the film out of British distribution. Um, do you think when actions like these type of actions, do you think the movies are to blame?
I it's a very loaded question. I'm not sure to give you an honest answer. I really don't know. Yeah, I mean, like, do I think like the film should have been like pulled? Is that what you're saying?
If if you want to answer that question, go right ahead.
Um, my honest opinion, because like if a movie like this comes around once in a generation or a lifetime, and it really has stood the test of time. It really is. I have not seen it, but to my knowledge, it is a very cult classic, but it is a very brilliant film by Kubrick. Um, but my God, I think that some things are just not meant to be seen, depending on how graphic or how horrific they are, if that makes sense. Like
No,
if
I,
you
I agree.
you know what I mean? Like, and this might be this might be an example of that, if that makes sense. I have not seen the film. I would like to at some point, but I gotta like do with the lights on kind of thing. So
And you know what? Because Justin, I want to ask you, since you're basically our film historian here,
Mhm.
do you think Kubrick may have felt partially responsible for these things?
I do think that he did. Um, I feel like he got spooked by the fact that people were copying what was being done in the film. And I think that's why he pulled the distribution in the UK because that's where it was happening. Um, if it started happening in the US, I probably think he would have done the same there.
Do you think, in the end of the day, Stanley Kubrick made the right decision?
Um, I think for the time he did. Um, Eventually, I think it did get unbanned. So I think at the time he made the smart choice and not exposing a very volatile generation of British youth to that.
The film was also banned in Ireland until
Yeah.
1990, until 2000. The film was the film was it was also banned in Singapore. There was an attempt to lift the ban in 2006. However, the submission for the M18 rating was rejected and the ban was not lifted. The ban was later lifted 5 years later in 2011. South Africa banned it until 1984, until available over the age for people over 21.
Yeah.
Brazil was banned until 1978. Spain, it debuted in the 1975 Valladolid International Film Festival, and but due to student protests, they didn't, and the final screenings were in the commercial festival with long queues of expectant students. After the festival, the film went into the art house circuit and later in commercial cinema successfully. And it was banned in Malta until 2000. And the 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 author of the film, whose name I Burgess, he had a mixed reception about the movie. He said he liked Malcolm McDowell and Michael Bates and the use of music. He praised it as brilliant, but he was concerned that it lacked the movie's final redemptive chapter and an absence he blamed upon the American publisher.
Hmm.
And and but the relationship between the two of them soured after Kubrick left Burgess to defend the film from accusations of glorifying violence.
Yeah.
Burgess tried to explain the Christian moral points of the story and outraged Christian organizations and defended against the newspaper. And wow, he only got $500 from the movie. He got screwed
Hmm.
when the $500 that were given to him for the rights of the film. And Burgess made
Ah.
a stage adaptation of this as well. called A Clockwork Orange, a play with music. Something tells me I don't want to see that play.
Probably not. Maybe he has Singing in the Rain.
Oh, God. Yeah, this is a movie. I don't know if I ever want to see it.
I think it's worth watching once and then being done with it.
You know what? I think that's a fair point. Justin, agree or disagree?
What was that?
I think it's a movie to watch once. JC said it's a movie to watch once and just never watch it again.
Yeah, probably.
So it's one of those things to see it just to say you've seen it.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so
This was kind of all of our picks. Justin, do you want to go next for your next pick or no?
Um, I think I'm good.
You're good. Okay, Bill, are you good?
um, you know, here's something that you wanna. Here's something, maybe we can end on a lighter note here for a good laugh. Are you ready? I think we
Uh,
could use a good laugh after talking about this, don't you?
Oh God.
You know the movie Barney's Great Adventure was banned in Malaysia?
For what reason?
Guess what?
What?
No one knows.
That's weird.
No, no, they said the movie itself was unsuitable for children.
It's Barney.
Can we all laugh about that for a minute?
Bill,
Okay. Malaysia has its own page on this. Let's see.
Because it says right here, Barney's Great Adventure, released in 1998, Barney's first feature-length movie. It was banned in Malaysia, but an exact reason for it hasn't been given. Only that the country found it unsuitable for children, despite being a movie about children using their imagination.
That's probably what made it unsuitable.
probably.
What, children using their imaginations?
I mean, yeah.
And the movie Babe was also banned in Malaysia because of its use of pigs.
Oh God.
Well, also that's because pigs in Islam are unclean animals. So those are interesting facts to impress your friends with.
Yeah.
After talking about Clockwork Orange, I think we just needed something to lighten the mood a little bit.
And end on a good note tonight.
But can we all believe that Barney was banned?
Bill and I talked about Barney, I think, in 2021. Remember
Oh,
that?
movies we love as children that we hate today.
Yeah, like movies and TV shows we enjoyed as kids, but now we hate. The very first thing we talked about was Barney.
That's actually the thumbnail.
Yes, the thumbnail on our YouTube video is a Barney meme. Kid you not. You're welcome, internet.
You're welcome. Okay, so anybody have anything else to say?
Nah, I think in the wise words of Imagine Dragons, there's nothing left to say now.
There's nothing else to say now.
Justin, are you good?
I am good.
All right. We want to thank you all for watching, listening, however you enjoyed us tonight. This is a very good topic on kind of a last minute basis. We decided to choose this topic, but at the same time, it came out well. I'm glad that we were able to talk about movies that got banned by certain countries or certain organizations and stuff like that, or just banned movies in general. It was a good topic for tonight. I would be curious if we did a part two as well. One day down the line, movies that were banned, part two. Who knows? We'll have to see, of course.
Down the road, maybe.
Down the road, down the line.
We got a fun one for you next week. You're just gonna have to wait.
Thanks so much for watching, listening. Yes, next week's Mixed Bag is gonna be a fun-filled episode for sure. We want to thank you all for watching, listening, however you enjoyed us.
You have to wait and see what it is next week.
Yeah, we're not gonna tell you until next Wednesday when the stream pops up.
It's gonna be a surprise.
So, But yes, good show tonight, gentlemen. Proud of you both. Couldn't have you any happier. Bill, you have this thing. It's like some
Sports
podcast.
Insanity podcast on the Sports Insanity Network. Check us out. We are on all platforms.
It's a busy week coming up. The Super Bowl is on its way.
We are, yeah, to us, it's kind of that weird low week because the Super Bowl isn't until next Sunday. So it's kind of that weird week.
Yeah, it's not the 4th, it's the 11th, right?
Yes. Next week is busy week.
Yes. SIN's gonna go insane.
That's in our title.
After all, they go insane.
So you don't have to.
Exactly. I want to thank Justin as well for filling in with his expertise and knowledge. Justin, you're the best, and thank you so much for your expertise. Couldn't do it without you.
Always a pleasure.
And thank you all for watching us and the chat board. I know Ali messaged us during our stream as well, saying, "Don't forget to bring up this. Don't forget to bring up that." She mentioned a lot of other stuff. That's why I was thinking we could do a part 2 at some point, but we'll have to see about that at some point too.
Okay, so
But
stay
for
safe.
all of us here at the Super Show, stay safe.
Take care.
Take care and
Be awesome.
Be awesome.